You know, Dave, there's some people who just don't understand our fascination with D&D.
Yeah, that's true, but what are you getting at, Ted?
I just think that there's, people out there who think it's weird.
I see what you're saying, man. You might even say it's strange.
Well, there are stranger things out there.
Then let's talk about the Dungeons & Dragons Stranger Things starter set. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchist Dave, and as always, I'm hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchist Ted.
Nerdarchy is a place for news, views, and homebrews for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, and sometimes we talk about other role-playing games too.
So if you don't want to miss a single video, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and to tune to that notification bell.
Alright. I think it's pretty obvious. We're talking about Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition starter set for Stranger Things. It just came in the mail the other day, so, we decided to break it open and read it. We're not going to really do unboxing per se. We're just going to talk about it a little bit, what's in there, what you folks can expect. And, you can decide whether or not you think it's something you want to purchase or not. Maybe you're new to Dungeons & Dragons and this is your first time encountering a video where we're kind of like talking about this stuff. And this might be a good place for you to start.
So if you want to grab a copy for yourself, there is going to be a link over to Amazon in the description. We do have to say that it is an affiliate link, so it is a way to help out the channel. So
with that, let's dive into it. So what we actually get in here is we get two minis. One is painted and one is unpainted, and they are the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Folks, there might be spoilers in here. If you don't want to know what's going on with this adventure, you might want to skip this video until afterwards, or maybe not. We also get a set of dice. We only get 6 dice. We do not get 7. There is no percentile. But on the plus side, you don't get a crayon and you don't have to color these in. Some of you know what that means, and some of you, well, you're just out of the know.
So we get a set of basic rules that give you all the ins and the outs that you need to actually play the game. It goes in depth into, the different rules, your stats, the conditions. There's a section for monsters and magic items, spells.
Yeah, it gives you everything, all the rules you would need to play the starter set. It does not give you any of the character classes. It gives you some of the spells, basic rules. In conjunction with the character sheets that you get, you're going to be able to basically play this game with these characters. I believe there's 5 of them here. We get a Bard, Hill Dwarf, Entertainer is a little bit different. If you look at their stats, they're definitely, looks like most of these are point buy and they're not using a standard array. We also have a Cleric, Wood Elf, Acolyte. We have a Paladin, Human Soldier. We've got a Ranger, Half-Orc Outlander, and a Wizard, Half-Elf Acolyte. And all these characters start at 3rd level.
They start at 3rd level, but on the back, it gives them, how much XP they need and what they get when they actually level up. And it does take them up to level 5, which corresponds to the spell section in the back of the starter set, showing you spells up to 3rd level for the classes that would actually get them.
I will say, for the rest of the rules for the SRD, if you want them, you can go online to Wizards of the Coast and you can get them there and download the PDF, and that'll add to what's in this book here. Most of it is the same, but you're going to get race information and class information from the SRD.
So the monsters in that starter set, they range everywhere from a challenge 1/8 up to a challenge 4. There's 3 challenge 4 monsters that are in there, 2 of which are actually unique to this particular module, the Demogorgon and the Thessal Hydra, which, I thought were really cool, fun, and interesting monsters to use. So for me, getting access to a new stat block was something that I was looking forward to.
Yes, and the name of the adventure that comes with it, the adventure book, Hunt for the Thessal Hydra, and it is written from the perspective of Mike, the DM from Stranger Things, one of the kids. So, that part is kind of cool. I actually like this adventure as a beginner starter adventure better than Foundover. But with that being said, this set costs about double on Amazon what you're going to pay for a Foundover, and Foundover you get a whole lot more adventure for your money. You don't get cool minis, but the set itself is you're going to get a lot more play hours out of it.
So in the actual module that's there, I think there's a lot of really great notes that I did not see, any kind of DM perspective, really giving little tidbits, little hints as you go throughout. Oh, if the players decide to go in this kind of a direction, this is how you can interpret that. So it starts off with, hey, here's an NPC conversation. They already have a relationship. And I really like, those kind of things. And, to a new DM, those little tips might be speaking volumes. Oh, don't let them carry on because, Dustin might wind up role-playing too much. Give them a way to push them on. I love that kind of stuff for new DMs because it gives guidance of, well, I don't know what to do. Oh, well, here's tips.
Also, one of the things that's done really well in this adventure is there's several instances where checks are called for. Now, whether you make the checks or you fail the checks, eventually you're going to get to where you need to be. The difference is there's extra complications when you fail the checks. So I like that. It's not succeed or don't succeed. It's succeed or you're going to have some extra problems to deal with.
Yes. Do this until you succeed is just an effort of numbers. I can sit there and roll a d20 until I crit. It doesn't really add anything to the play value. Whereas the circumstances where you have to play and, okay, well, you get 3 checks. If you fail, the story proceeds forward, just more challenging. I think that is an excellent way to approach for a new DM.
Also, I guess one of the things worth mentioning is everything is kind of made to look like it's weathered or older, and, the box itself. I believe the starter set retailed on Amazon for about $25. Foundelvers you can get for about $13. You're paying extra. I'm not going to lie, you're paying extra for the name Stranger Things. They had to license the brand, obviously. So that's going to be an added cost. I think this is for someone who's just getting into it, the hobby. They found Stranger Things and then they interested in Dungeons & Dragons. Well, this combines the two things. So that would be kind of cool for them. Or people like us who are veteran players but also enjoy the novelty of the Stranger Things brand being incorporated. You just have to determine if it's worth the extra money for you or not. I mean, you're going to get a couple minis out of it, but I don't think they really compensate for the extra cost. You're going to get 2 new monsters. Again, I don't think that's going to compensate for the extra cost. Now, the coolness factor, that's what we were kind of like digging on. If you look at the credits, adventure by Stan and Betty Petrusser. I'm probably butchering the crap out of that. Sorry.
As we usually do.
Sorry, Ben. Ben Petrusser. Cartography by Stan. Rulebook, Jeremy Crawford. Editing is basically the Wizards of the Coast team. So very cool. They're involved with it. The inside of this actually looks like notebook paper. Mm-hmm. It is not stapled. It is sewn for the binding, which is kind of cool. It's an added thing. The adventure book itself is only 12 pages.
Right.
2 of which are blank for your notes.
So now it does say that this is supposed to be like a one-night session. You should be able to get through it all, in one playthrough, 2 at the absolute most, if you happen to, go through all of the extra challenges and having to, basically fight everything. Because I know some players out there, it's like, I must explore it all. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say that, while there is no new magic items in the actual starter rules, if you play your cards right through the adventure, there is a magic item that you can start the game off with, which I thought was pretty cool and actually speaks heavily to the theme of the particular event. But you also mentioned licensing, and this is the first time I'm seeing something on a D&D product with a stamp on there that says Hasbro Gaming.
It says Hasbro Gaming. It says Netflix. Yeah, it's all over the place with that. It is definitely, it's cool. It's very cool. And to me, it speaks to going a little bit more mainstream. Now, you mentioned that magic item. It's Winter's Dark Bite. It's kind of cool. It's just a +1 greatsword. But if you use it against the Thessal Hydra, it's a +3. And if you're in the Upside Down, it's a +4 weapon. Actually, that's the highest plus in the game that I've seen ever.
For 5th edition, yeah.
For 5th edition. They alluded to the fact that weapons can go up to +5. I've yet to see anything above a +3. That's a +4. Special circumstances. Some cool things about this adventure. One, you've got like 3 standout NPCs. Then you have a couple others that are they're not really detailed, but they're mentioned. Mm-hmm. You get, I would say, 3 adventure areas. One being the Troglodyte Caves, and then you have the Cursed Labyrinth that's kind of attached to it. Mm-hmm. And that's how you get to the Upside Down. And then, you actually travel through the Upside Down and then back into the real world through a cool ritual. and then you get to the Thessalhydra's lair.
Right.
Right. So you get those 3 adventure areas. They're kind of cool. I like the random labyrinth they put in for the Cursed Labyrinth.
I like the way that they did that, and I'm probably going to use, some iteration of that particular, layout for some different things that I've done. So that's something that I would definitely lift out. The metal that the Winter's Dark Bite is made out of is a unique material specific to this particular adventure, and it's comes from the Upside Down. So to me, that speaks as, okay, well, is this a whole nother plane of existence?
Well, yeah, they said it's a demiplane. So
I'm explaining. So it's like, that could lead into its own adventures of, okay, well, how different smiths and things really like working on different and unique materials. So like that could lead to its own adventure, of like surviving and mining, out there to try and get more of that material.
Yeah, you could do a whole adventure where you're going and getting more materials. Absolutely. So there's a bunch of stuff. There's 3 NPCs that are unique, like I said. They don't really... they're not going to stretch in their brains too hard on 2 of them. It's King Tristan. They explain him. He's a friend of yours. Brings you in to do some work. And then you have the Lost Knight and the Proud Princess.
Yes.
I found the way they implement the Proud Princess to be very interesting, because you're not supposed to fight her, and they make it very clear, and they enter special rules for fighting her, which basically say you're going to lose.
That was probably the, from a 5th edition standpoint, that definitely has far more of like the old gaming style, and doesn't fit with the typical 5th edition mechanics, but it definitely does fit to the aspect of, what that encounter is supposed to be. It would have been nice to see a different style. Just, you could be like, oh, the characters aren't going to get above 5th level. You could make this person be a challenge 12 or a challenge 13 and be like, look, I'm all powerful. You're not going to bring me down. Don't even try.
I think they saved the room from the stat block and just been like, here's these 2 lines that really dictate that you are not bringing down the Proud Princess. I mean, obviously, a veteran player that's doing this could just implement a different stat block from, from the back of the monster manual, from the NPCs. I think the idea, though, was just to keep it simple as a starter set, and that's probably why they did it. It legitimately is a way you could play the game. It does kind of take away the player's agency in the sense that they're going to, no matter what they do, they really can't win against the Proud Princess.
Right.
She's got unlimited hit points. You need to crit to hit her, and she automatically hits you and does a lot of damage. So, yeah, that part is a little railroady. But for the most part, I actually like this adventure. I think it's well put together. I think it would be a fun session to run. And it's very old school. It's very simplified for people that aren't familiar with the game. And it incorporates the social pillar, the exploration pillar, and the combat pillar.
And I think it really does it well. I think this is a really great selection. And, reading through, I think it would be a fun adventure to play or run.
Absolutely. So with that, the question is, what do you folks think? We've weighed in and kind of gave you our overview of it. There is a link in the description if you want to check it out for yourselves. You can go down to the comments and discuss if you're already playing it, if you've played it, what you think. Maybe you hate Stranger Things. Maybe you love Stranger Things. I don't know. So if you really like this product and want to tell us your thoughts on it, you can do that in the comments. If you haven't checked it out yet, but you want to, there's that affiliate link to Amazon where you can purchase your own Dungeons & Dragons starter set, Stranger Things. But hey, did you enjoy this video? If so, we want to invite you to join the Nerdarchy Adventuring Party. What can they expect over there, Ted?
So we create products every month for both players and DMs alike.
Hey, Ted, don't forget they get entered into monthly giveaways automatically.
True, Dave, but that's not all. We also do weekly hangouts with patrons at select levels, and that's not all. That's just a small tip of what we do over on Patreon.
So with that, until next time, stay nerdy.